Commonwealth lightweight champion, who despite having 2 crowns is still struggling for full recognition amongst the very top 9 stone 9 men. Here he makes the 4th defence of his Commonwealth belt against Trinidad's Joseph Charles, who's come in at short notice. He's won 10 of his 17 but is unknown on these shores. Never easy when neither man knows very much about the other.
No, I don't suppose, Adam, but I'm an old dinosaur. I mean, in my day, you very seldom saw film of your opponent anyway, so you just got all the tools ready and got on with the job. Bobby Vanzie, he's perfected a style all of his own. He's a good pro, so I'm sure he'll have done that. He'll have all the tools ready.
Yes, he has. Vanzie is an interesting fighter. Sometimes can look devastating. A la Nassim Hamad, occasionally with those funny moves and angles, but often can just get stuck in that role a little bit as well. Depends which style he's fighting against. Sometimes Charles looks tall and rangy. Southpaw. He is coming off 3 defeats, but they were against good class lightweights, and Vanzie is one of those.
Well, first impressions of Charles, he doesn't look too bad. I don't know what kind of condition he's in. I would imagine he must have been training for some other fight if he's taken this one at short notice. But he moves around well, he's controlled. When Vanzie shows a little feint, he doesn't panic, and he's always ready to come back with counters. So, first impressions, he doesn't look too bad.
Looks in very good condition for a last-minute opponent, Joseph Charles. It was going to be the South African Enoch Zitha. Vanzie just creeping in with an uppercut there. He's got power, Vanzie. Not sure quite how much. But in his last fight, he knocked Zambian super featherweight Paul Kaoma cold in 2 rounds. But he was a super feather.
Well, Vanzie just trying things out in the first round here. He realises he's against a man with a long reach who likes to use that reach. So his head movement's good. He's just having a good look. Probably just nicking around, being that little bit busier.
It's just settling down. A little right again from Vanzie. Brought a wobble from Charles, who has thin legs for his frame. Vanzie's opening round. It's the 2nd in this Commonwealth lightweight title defence for Bradford's Bobby Vanzie, the 26-year-old in the silver trunks. Flashy and some say arrogant, certainly speaks his mind and wants fights with the top British lightweights, Michael Ayres, Billy Schwer and Colin Dunn. For the moment, he must deal with Joseph Charles, who he knows little about, from the West Indies. And he's having a good look at Vanzie.
I don't know that trying to beat Bobby Vanzie on your back foot's a good idea. He does so many unpredictable things. He's very quick, and as we've seen a couple of times, fairly powerful as well. So I think you really got to shut him down a little bit, try and come forward. So sooner or later, Charles is going to have to try that.
That's exactly what Stephen Smith tried to do earlier this year in a mauling, brawling fight with Vanzie. Trying to back Vanzie up with his southpaw style, but here's a southpaw that's fighting very much on the back foot. And Vanzie will relish that.
Yeah, well, Vanzie's forcing the action here. He's pushing him back without really working too hard. So it's a good start to a 12-rounder for Vanzie. 12 rounds is a long time, as we know. So he's not wasting too many punches. Well,
he needs to impress Vanzie. That good knockout win last time, but occasionally he gets floored and goes off the boil in the ring. Left hand success.
So I think the problem for Vanzie in his career, he holds a British title, but the couple of guys, I don't know if the referee's going, yep, he's calling that a knockdown, which is, I suppose, fair enough, but I think part of that was balance.
Yes, he was moving round and caught by the right of Vanzie, but Ian John Lewis calls it a knockdown. Remember, he scores this Commonwealth fight. So early success for Vanzie. Can he build on it? Charles was shaken in the first round by a couple of right uppercuts, but he does look like he's got a decent chin on paper. Only legitimately knocked out once. He was disqualified before. I think Vanzie feels he's got the power to finish this one within the distance.
Oh, another good right hook there just before the bell. I think Charles looks a little bit slow at the moment, but I think that's down to the fact that Vanzie is so quick and not really giving him a chance to land any punches.
He's a nightmare to fight, Vanzie.
Well, it's a style he's developed. Not everybody likes it, but he's developed it, he's worked at it. So maybe we'll see the knockdown. See, look at that. That really wasn't a punch. The punch caught him in the shoulder. That was more of a push, a stumble, and down he's gone. But we'll have to score at 10-8 because the referee... See, that's... In no way can you call that a knockdown punch, but some good fortune for Bobby Vanzie.
Here's the fifth of this so far pretty one-sided Commonwealth defence. Fourth time for Vanzie with this belt. He won it against Athanas Nazou and defended against Vincent Howard and Paul Kaoma. Now for Joseph Charles, who is finding little answer to the problems he's facing in Vanzie's style. Works the body. Well, he is negative, Joseph Charles, as he backs away.
The trouble then, Adam, he actually backed away for no reason. Vanzie was squatting in front of him, trying to draw a lead. Instead of showing a little feint and trying to get Vanzie to come up himself, he just stepped back. I wonder maybe if he doesn't have the confidence over the distance, being that he's taken the fight at short notice, but you would think he would have come out and had a few shoot or bust rounds, see maybe if he could spring a knockout or whatever, but good right hand from Vanzie, good punching.
Good combinations from Bobby Vanzie. And a knockdown is called by Ian John Lewis. Bobby Vanzie put that cluster together when he finished Stephen Smith. He's got very quick hand speed. And we need to see more of that. When he has the man pinned on the ropes, that looks almost the best Bobby Vanzie.
Yeah, I think what I'd like to see him do is commit himself a little bit more. He's still... Nothing wrong with wanting to land punches without being hit back. Okay, that's the essence of boxing. But for excitement, he's going to have to step in to the lion's den, stay there and let some punches go. Be prepared to take something back. Because he punches harder than this guy, and this guy hasn't shown really anything to trouble Vanzie. I'd like to see him stand his ground and just be a bit more attractive.
He's jumping in with right uppercuts and left hands. And a loud Bobby Vanzie hooter from the fans. Might remind you of Naseem Hamed, but Hamed, of course, has that concussive power. And Vanzie doesn't hold that.
A bit of holding inside. I don't know who is the more guilty.
I think it was Charles. He's getting worked over by Vanzie. He's really just come here to walk through this, Joseph Charles. After 3 points defeats in a row, lacking ambition. Right from Vanzie, as Charles tried to come in for a change. It might help Vanzie if that's what Charles did.
Yeah, well, Vanzie's a champion now, and the one building a career, wanting to be an attraction. Just a little bit more of everything we want from him, but he's certainly hanging on to his title without a doubt.
Round after round for Bobby Vanzie. This was good.
Yeah, that was definitely a knockdown. Good burst of punches, and Charles actually was forced onto the floor just to get away from the punches. He couldn't slip them, couldn't block them, so he had to go down. And the rope actually stopped him from going all the way down, so technically that is a knockdown.
Unlike the one
sorry, Adam, but that was good from Vanzie. If he would just pick up where he left off, stay in there. He has more power, more natural strength than this guy. I wish he would start using it, and then we could give us something to become excited about. Those were good shots, piling them on.
Really putting the meat into those instructions from Godfrey Brown for the headshots. Fresh and quick to his feet, Bobby Vanzie, for the 6th round of this Commonwealth lightweight title against the tall, rangy 31-year-old from Trinidad, Joseph Charles, who has not had much to offer, and Vanzie is wearing him down. He's fighting regularly, Bobby Vanzie, but the jury is still out. That's good. And a left to the body as well. Charles just sinks to his feet, down for the 3rd time in the fight. And he might be starting to get fed up with this, Joseph Charles. He's taken it at 2 days' notice. I don't know if he really wants much more of it. Can Vanzie force the stoppage?
The big problem for Charles, he can't get himself into the fight. Nothing that he's done has had any impression whatsoever on Vanzie. Vanzie doing pretty much as he pleases. And now a couple of visits to the canvas can't have done much for his confidence.
Trying to unload single shots, Vanzie, from the strange angles. And letting Charles recover after each knockdown. And Joseph Charles' trainer Cecil Ford just watching in the corner. His expression hasn't changed in 6 rounds. I don't know what he tells his fighter in between them.
Good body shot, Adam. That would maybe take another little bit of steam out of Charles. That was a nice little shot to the ribs then.
Again, trying to jump in, Vanzie. Hurl himself. Can he trap him on the ropes again? Charles looks unsteady on his feet. It could almost be curtains for the West Indian if Vanzie increases the pace. Again, he just tumbles to the floor. I think we are not going to see much more from Mr. Charles. He's having a chat with the referee, and I think he's going to quit, is he? He's not happy. I don't know whether he thought he was caught low or... No, he has pulled out. Well, well. We see some strange endings in boxing. Joseph Charles had quite simply had enough. And Bobby Vanzie retains his Commonwealth lightweight title. 19 out of 20 for the Viper from Bradford. And please bring on Billy Schwer, Michael Ayres, Colin Dunn. One of those names we need to see Vanzie against now.
Yep, a more attractive opponent will probably look better. Over the years, now and again we have to criticise referees, but that was a nice bit of refereeing we've just seen then, because the referee obviously realised that Charles was struggling, couldn't get himself into the fight, so he had a good chat with him, realised the kid wanted out of there and got him out of there. He'd given his best, nothing, he was out of the fight, so as I say, a good bit of refereeing. See, at this stage, he couldn't get into the fight. Vanzie was doing pretty much as he pleased. I just wish at this stage if Vanzie had stood his ground and let bursts of punches go rather than that disjointed style that he sticks with, because he had a chance to look good at this stage. But nevertheless, I said if he stopped this fellow, it'd be a good result, and he did that, so it was a good result.
And down again here, Charles. Was he thrown in this one?
Yeah, that was just a stumble. Yeah, that was. But that time his heart was out of the thing. He had nothing more to offer. And as I say, the referee realised that. Once again, nice bit of refereeing.
Easy for Vanzie. And both decided enough was enough. Referee and opponent. Bobby Vanzie is the winner, but the jury still is out.
Firstly,